Hi, welcome to Have Haunted. This is a special Mother's Day episode. I'm here with my mom, Deb. Welcome to Have Haunted.
Thank you. I do have a complaint. When I was in the green room, there is no all brown M&Ms. I wanted brown peanut M&Ms, and I wanted Fuji water. I got nothing.
I'm going to have to get my assistant to... I'm going to have to fire my assistant.
Well, I don't really think you have to necessarily fire anyone, but I would, if they can run out and give me those peanut M&Ms, I will really appreciate that.
No problem. Next time, I'll make sure it happens.
Okay.
So I brought you in on this special episode because I wanted to know a little bit more in depth about you and how you grew up and a little bit more about you. So I'm going to ask you some questions. That's okay?
I grew up a poor white child on the Outer Banks.
Did you have to walk 20 miles in the snow uphill?
No. And whatever parent tells you that, they're full of crap. Because my parents tried to tell me that. No, I did not.
You did not? Okay.
No.
Where are you from?
California.
What part of California?
San Rafael.
Okay. What were your parents like?
Well, let's just say they did the best they could.
Tell me about the day your first child was born. AKA me.
Well, I was at the bowling alley with your grandma because she was in a bowling league. And she insisted I go with her, in case I went into labor that, because she wanted to be there. So, sure enough, she kept asking me every 5 minutes how it was. Sure enough, we made it through the bowling thing, but I think I went back to your grandma's, I'm pretty sure. And I stayed there because I was having pain, so I had to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, and there was at least 25 people in the waiting room waiting for you to be born. But then Jerry Procash was there, and when they came in and said that you were probably dead and that I was probably going to die because my blood pressure had gone through the roof, so they thought I was going to stroke out. But I knew that we were both fine. I knew you were fine. You were moving around. I knew you were going to be fine. So then they kept hem-hawing around. I kept telling them that you were coming and all this other stuff. And so they didn't do anything. And finally I said, "You're here. You came. You were between my legs." Sure enough, they lifted up the sheet and they went, "Oh." And then they rushed me into the labor and delivery room, which I thought was a joke. Then, after all that was done, they brought you to me in a plastic bag. And I could not understand why they brought you to me in a plastic. You were wrapped in a plastic bag. And I couldn't understand that. Because they said that you needed to be in an incubator or whatever, which then you didn't have to do because the other specialists said no, you were fine. But that was really ridiculous. It was, that wasn't great. But hey, you were fine, so you know what I mean. It was great. You had the biggest. To this day, you are the most beautiful baby I have ever seen in my life at birth, and your brother is the ugliest at birth to this day. But like your brother, because he got all yucky. Well, we can talk about that another time, but no, you're just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful baby.
Speaking of my brother, tell me about the day your second child was born, AKA my brother.
Well,
do tell.
He was huge. So I had him at University Heights Hospital, where you had to be born at a different hospital because the specialists, because there were so many problems. Because I was sick the entire time with you. With your brother, I was not sick. But I ate like a small can of ranch beans every day. That's all I ate. But when I went into labor with him, because your dad and I were not together, your grandma was in the delivery room with me. And then when he was born, the ugliest kid I'd ever. He was so overbaked that he had scratched his face all up, and oh my God, it was the worst thing I'd ever seen. But he was 2 feet long, and he weighed 9 pounds 10 ounces. Where you were a tiny baby, you were 19 inches long, and you only weighed like a few pounds. You weren't, real big. So he did a number on me. But yeah, your grandma was in there with me, and I remember she told me, "It's all right, honey. He'll outgrow it." Because I was like, oh my God, he was ugly.
Tell me about each of your children. What are they like?
Funny. You are extremely kind. Corey, he's super smart, wicked funny. You're wicked funny too. You're smart. I mean, you're both smart. You were both great in school. You both made good grades. You were both pretty easy kids, I mean, all I've ever wanted you to be is great people.
What are some of your most memorable family vacations with your children?
Well, I guess you could edit this out if you want. But when we went to Disneyland and you were in the bathroom and you started your period and you said, "Mom," and I'm like, "You poor thing." That was a terrible thing for you to be on vacation and then have that. But you handled it like a trooper, and but that was very memorable because I've never forgot it because that happened.
Yeah, that was Disneyland. That was interesting.
Yeah.
What are your favorite memories with your children?
Well, you guys might not think it's so great, but no, when your dad and I pulled that prank on you about Papa Felipe and Mama Mia, that.
You gotta tell us that story.
All right, well, you guys had been kind of fighting with each other and stuff a little bit, which you rarely did, but
we were being assholes.
Yeah, and so we had to go up to your grandma's house, and we were going to stop at the Golden Corral to eat, because the Golden Corral had just opened. It hadn't been there very long, maybe a year, so the food was decent. It was edible. But anyway, after you guys get your food and we're all sitting there, I told you guys that your dad and I had fallen on hard times. I'm sorry, it just makes me laugh. And you guys are going to have to go live, that we found this really nice couple, older couple for you guys, that you could go live with for a while in Mexico. And not to worry, we'd be calling you and, all the time and all this, and we'd go back and get you as soon as possible. Well, you guys were pretty iffy, at first, and then, I did this with a complete straight face, and your dad backed me up the whole way, but it went on and on and on, and I said, "No, really, I'm really sorry," and then, like you said, "Well, why can't we stay with Grandma?" "Well, because they don't want you to," which, of course, would be a lie. Of course they would take you, but anyway. So then I could tell Corey and you were both getting like, "Oh my God, this is real," because I said, "That's why we brought you here to the restaurant before we went to Grandma's, because we're not going to Grandma's. They're going to be here to pick you up." And Corey's eyes were getting real big, and so were yours, and then all of a sudden, this older Hispanic gentleman and woman started walking right towards us, and I said, because I was telling you how it's Papa Felipe and Mama Mia, or that's what you could call them. Which I came up with that because there's the restaurant Papa Felipe's and the restaurant Mama Mia's. So anyway, they started walking up, and Corey freaked. And then I started laughing so hard. And then we were like, "We would never do that to you. Are you kidding me?" But you guys were buying it hook, line, and sinker.
I really thought you were telling the truth. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. That's a good one. I remember that.
I'll never forget it.
Tell us one of your proudest moments of each of your children. Like, what were you, of each of us, your proudest moments?
Well, you guys graduated. Like, you're good kids. You've never been in jail. You know, you've never been arrested
No
that I
face
know
tattoos.
of. Huh?
No face tattoos.
Well, no, because that would be disgusting.
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, like, some people it's okay, but I don't think you guys would look good with
Yeah,
them.
each to their own. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would never
People,
do it.
each their own. So I don't care about tattoos or anything like that. You know, you guys, you're good people. You know, you don't intentionally try to harm anyone, which is a good thing, right? So you
I
guys
always
were
say
good
we-
students.
we were raised right.
Well, I
Most
mean,
people.
you know,
Yeah.
you're good people. That's all a parent asks for. When you guys always said, "What do you want for Mother's Day and what do you want for your birthday?" What did I tell you? I want you to be good people. I don't want no gifts. I want you to be good people. You know, that's what you want from your children and your grandchildren if you have them or anything else. You just want them to be good people, to make the world a better place. Do no harm. Be kind. You guys are kind. You know, you're good people.
What did you find most difficult about raising children?
Patience, because the way I was raised, there was none. And, you know, you learn what you live. And it's, you know, kids are a lot of work. So if I had to do it all over again, you know, people should wait, you know, till they're in their 30s to have children, really, because, you know, go ahead, live your life, travel the world, do whatever, then have your kids, you know, because I think the older you get, the more patience you have.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at me now. I mean, I have a lot more patience for everything, you know.
What did you find most rewarding about being a parent?
Well, I mean, you have an opportunity to teach a child, you know, and just to watch them grow and see what they become. You know, that in and of itself is rewarding. Like I said, it'd be different if you were both sitting in jail. But because then it would be like, oh.
What day become you know that enough itself is rewarding different if you were both sitting as?
An welchem Tag weißt du, dass genug selbst dann, dass es, wenn ihr beide sitzt?
Damn, sir, are you listening?
Yeah, bitch, mind your own business.
That was perfect.
Out of the blue, she pipes up.
Wow.
God. But no, I mean, you know, you guys always did good in school. You did great in sports, especially you. I mean, you kicked Corey's ass in sports, really, because Corey, when he played baseball, he either, you know, he'd hit a home run or, like, not do so well. And, you know, he wasn't a very fast runner. But he was good. Where you were super, super talented in softball, basketball, everything. So it was fun watching you play, you know, watching you grow. One of my favorite memories with you is you were in the ROTC, but when your dad went with you, my sweet Bobby, to Camp Pendleton, and I remember him calling, and that was before there was cell phones and all that, and him saying that they wanted you to join the military so you could be a sharpshooter because you were better than most of those that were in there. You are a great sharpshooter. So people don't mess with us.
I still am. I mean, I'm really good.
Yeah, no, really. You that's very talented because not everybody can point a weapon and shoot it accurately. You most certainly can.
Yes, I can. What are some of the most important things you learned in life?
Be kind, be honest, be trustworthy, integrity, that do unto others as you'd want them to do unto you. As you see around this house, everything says about blessings, crazy blessed, gratitude. Without gratitude, without knowing how lucky you are, and through good times and bad, you still have to be grateful. And everything teaches you a lesson. And every action has a consequence, whether it's good or bad. Everything has a consequence. You can choose to do good and have good karma, or you can choose to do bad and have bad karma, because I fully believe that that's what will happen.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
What is your most precious memory?
Of what? Everything in my whole life?
Yeah.
Honestly, I never thought about this till you just said that, but honestly, probably about seeing you for the first time when you were born. Because you were my first child. I didn't know what to expect. You have this baby inside you, it moves around and whatever. But you just don't, the first time you see your child,
Mm-hmm.
and know you made that it lived in you, and and then seeing your face, and you had the biggest blue eyes that were wide open. I couldn't believe it. And your face was just clear and beautiful, and right now I'm thinking of that. I'll never forget that look as long as I live. And I think out of everything, really, that's probably it, really.
That's pretty cool. What is the hardest thing you've ever been through?
Well, having to try to protect my sister and my brothers, probably that.
Okay. What are some things on your bucket list that you've yet to cross off?
Well, I've traveled all over the world, but I have not been to Iceland or Italy. And I need to go to both of those places.
Yeah, those are on my bucket list as well.
Because I've been a lot of places. All over the world, but I've not been to those two places. Australia was a wonderful country, but I want to go to New Zealand too, because I did not go to New Zealand.
How was Australia? Was it nice?
Oh, they treated me like a queen there. They love Americans. They helped me tremendously, but everybody there was wonderful. And the great thing was, at that time, American money was great, because I was there for 6 months. And American money was worth far more there. So I had a lot of people that I became friends with,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd buy stuff with them with my American money. So it would be like basically 2/3 for them, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then what it saved them a lot of money, at least like 30%, 35% it saved them. So that was cool. And over there they had this kind of cool thing where you'd play bingo for meat trays, which like you'd go
cool.
there, have your beer, eat whatever, but then when you won the bingo, you went and they had all kinds of, and all those meat things are at least 10 pounds, at least. There's lots of meat, steaks, the whole 9 yards. And you'd go and pick out your meat thing and come back. Well, of course, I didn't have any place to do that. So the people that I became friends with there that took me there, because they'd pick me up and then take me back to the clinic, they were so awesome. So I'd give them the meat, but bingo for meat, it was amazing.
That sounds amazing.
It was just funny. And they had great chicken schnitzel. I'd made a lot of schnitzel, you know that.
Oh, it's tasty.
Oh, it's really good. But I had never in my life, before I went to Australia, had chicken schnitzel, and it was amazing.
Have you made it here?
The chicken schnitzel? No, I need to.
Yeah, you should.
I need to, because
Sounds
it's
good.
delicious.
Yep. Who is the wisest person you've ever known, and what have you learned from that person?
Well, I don't know if they're the wisest, but no, I take that back. Pop and Ma Procash. Yeah. Next to my sweet Bobby, they were the best people that I knew. And my grandpa, Charlene and Carl, they were, top notch. But yeah, them. They were the wisest, kindest. When I lost them both, it was like losing your parents, you know.
Yeah, they were really cool people.
Oh, the amazing, loving, kind, wonderful, wonderful people.
And they were my godfather's parents.
Yeah, you called them.
Yeah, Mom,
Grandma and
Pop.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
You know. And Jerry and Phyllis, and you called Chad Uncle Chad, and Jerry and Phyllis Aunt Jerry and Aunt Phyllis.
Really nice people. What is something someone has said that will stay with you forever?
Probably my grandfather when I was a kid growing up, and he said, Debbie girl, don't ever owe anyone money. You know, he says, don't buy it if you can't pay cash. And I know that's kind of hard to do in this day and age, but if people would even take that to heart and go, okay, well, yeah, I might need this to buy a house or my car, but then you save up and pay it off so that you don't owe anything. Because we can never be debt free because there's property taxes, insurances, all that stuff, but you can be as close to not ever having to pay any bills, you know what I mean, other than your utilities and all that, if you don't owe people money. And my grandpa did that, and I've never forgot it. I've tried to do it. Obviously, your dad and I, when we bought our house, I mean, obviously there was a loan on it. But as we kept doing this, we don't do that. We pay cash for everything. That's how it should be, I think, if you can do it.
It's good advice.
Well, that's the one thing he said, and I mean, I don't know if it's the best advice in the world, but it stuck with me. It's the thing he said that I'll never forget.
What do you think happens after death?
Well, I think we're energy. You know, I do not believe in religion because everyone thinks the religion is the best, and the Bible, other people wrote the Bible. Jesus didn't write this 5-inch thick thing. You know, they put their crap in it. But I do believe in a higher power, whether you want to call that God or the universe. I believe we're energy, and I don't think energy ever dies. So I guess I'm kind of hopeful that maybe our shell dies, which we know that. our shell dies, and I'm just hopeful that that energy just goes on to the next adventure. I don't know where that'll be. It may be nothing. This may be it. There may be nothing else. But, you know, everyone, I think, has that hope that there's another great adventure after this experience. Because let's take a look at this experience here. 200 years ago, 100 years ago, they didn't have the stuff we had. And look at us even now. When you were born, there wasn't cell phones. We barely had just got cable and microwaves. Those just came. You know what I mean? But look at now, everything we have. Now there's electric cars. Bezos or whoever's sending people to the moon. If you want to pay $1 million, you couldn't do that. You know, I mean, it's an amazing world, but we don't know what happens. But wouldn't it be cool if there is another adventure after this? It'd be awesome.
If someone offered you a box containing everything you have ever lost, what would you look for first?
Oh, I know. Hands down. The hat my great-grandmother made me. It was like what Laurel Ingalls wore on Little House on the Prairie. I spent like a month with them in the summer, maybe just a couple weeks, whatever, in the summer, just me with them. And we sat, and she showed me how to make that, and I remember the cardboard, putting the cardboard slits in there so it stands up and everything. That hat was amazing, and I have no idea what happened to it. But if I had that, oh, yeah, that is very important. And Randy, when I was 25, this little boy Randy, he was 9, fell in love with me, and he gave me a ring. And when your dad and I were out at our house on Ruffin, when we were out raking, it came off, and I could never find it. And we even got one of those things, but I couldn't find it. So if I found that, that would be awesome, because that kid was so in love with me. It was so sweet, but that was really sweet.
Last question. What do you want your legacy to be?
Were you hoping I said if I lost it? Were you hoping I'd see my virginity?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Oh my God.
I couldn't help it.
What do you want your legacy to be?
She tried.
Good enough.
Look, I've always tried to do the best I can. I'm a person who's made a crap ton of mistakes in my life, more than I could ever count. But I think the important thing is when you know better, you do better. You don't, like I've always told you, you don't look back. When you make a mistake, you go, okay, from right now. And all the temptations in life, whatever, you just have to go, no, right now, I'm going to start right now. And you let yourself down when you say that, but you don't follow through. So I think no one can say that. I've always tried to do better and done better. And as you can see, I don't know of anybody that hates me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there may be people out there, I don't know. But and I'm also very picky about who I will let in my circle, But no, I just think we all do the best we can, and as long as we're kind, I think I've been kind. I don't think I've ever intentionally harmed anyone or been mean intentionally, like you're trying to hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not that person, so, I don't know. What do we do at the end of the day, right? We all do the best we can. I believe that fully, that at the time with whatever we're given, we do the best that we can. I also know that we're all, if you believe in church in your Bible, that we're all sinners. And we are. We all make countless mistakes. The important thing is, did you learn from them? I remember way back in the day, my friend Lee Russell got a DWI. And prior to that, I was in the music business, so prior to that, you go, you're doing a venue or whatever, and you have a few drinks. Well, I would not drink and drive today, but back then I sure did. Even though I just thought, but for the grace of God, there go I, because I could have been arrested. You know what I mean? So right away, I don't drink and drive, or don't do anything like that, and have for your. So you got to learn, and I've always tried to learn from friends. Too, not just family members, but you should try to learn from everyone and their experiences. Yeah. So that's what I learned from a lot of people is, oh, that happened to you? Well, I don't want that to happen to me. I never want to ever in my life, I will never do anything that'll land me in jail or prison because, I learned from them. It's a horrible place. When they got arrested, how humiliating that was. I don't want that to ever happen.
I don't want to be someone's bitch in prison, so.
No, I don't want to have to prove myself in the yard every day. I'm an old woman now.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming on to my podcast.
Well, I would have really appreciated those all chocolate M&Ms and my Fuji water. I'm really, I really think they're not back yet with my M&Ms.
Well, I'll talk to my people and I'll make sure next time.
Yeah, because I need those
now,
all brown ones.
Would you consider the tables turn and would you ask me questions?
Absolutely. Oh, well, you got questions for me to ask you, or you just want me to ask you on the fly?
No, I'm not right now. A whole new podcast.
Oh, well, we can do it right now, but you can do it later. Yeah, I want to ask you some questions now while we're on the roll.
It's still recording.
Oh, welcome to Half Haunted. This is Candy's mom, Deb. Hi, nice to meet you all. Now I'm going to turn the tables on this girl over here, and I'm going to ask her some hard questions.
I wasn't prepared.
Tough. So, Candy. Now, you're looking lovely today, I might add. But, okay, I have some questions for you. Are you ready to answer these? Maybe you should take a drink instead of laughing so hard. Notice I'm not laughing. Take a drink so you can step... Is that really recording?
It is really recording.
Okay, take a drink because I'm going to ask you questions now. Okay.
You cut all this out, right?
Why would you cut it out? This is...
I'm
Go.
not prepared for all this.
Tough. Answer the questions. I wasn't prepared either.
Yeah,
you
were.
didn't ask me a lot of the questions.
Listen,
Whatever. I don't care. You can ask me anything. I'm not afraid of nothing. Know that, people. Not afraid of nothing. Okay. So, Candy. Okay. Welcome to Have Haunted. This is Candy's mom, Deb. I'm here to interview Candy. We're going to turn the tables. So, Candy, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for doing this because I think your viewers should know just what kind of a person Candy is. So, Candy, my first question for you is, how did you get into the paranormal life? Because that's not my thing. It was not your biological father's thing, and it's not your bonus dad's thing or your brother's thing. So I'm curious, how did that come about?
Well,
what happened was...
it started when I was a kid. I thought I saw shadows living with my dad and Patty,
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I saw shadows. I was intrigued. But it could have been just shadows, So.
Maybe you're clairvoyant.
Well, I think I am actually, like,
Wow.
empath, whatever. It's my belief. Anyway, the one time I was at Grandma's house, Grandma D, your mom's house, and this is after Grandma Elsie died, and I was walking down to your old bedroom, and I thought I heard her call me. That's probably just being dramatic after she woke
Your
us.
grandma?
Grandma Elsie.
Yeah.
I thought I heard her call me, but it's probably just traumatic after she woke us up at 2 a.m. to go to school.
Yeah, I know.
So it could have been that, but I just thought and I wanted to know, like, if people really, there was somewhere else people went after they died. And, you watch all these ghost shows, so that's how I got into it.
Oh. Well, so what was your thought process when you decided to do Have Haunted?
Well, I wanted to just put myself out there, and it's half haunted, meaning I'm half funny and I'm half haunted, which I like the paranormal.
Well, you're whole funny. You're not half funny, you're whole funny. You are one of the funniest people I know. If I had your wit, I'd be a stand-up comedian.
Well, I like the paranormal and I like to be funny, so I figured I'd let people know, even if I just had one follower or one listener, I like to put my stuff out there to people that maybe couldn't go out and see, like, Ashmore Estates. At least they can listen to it and know that, oh, hey, something else is out there. You know what I mean? That they can't get to it, and at least they can hear about it or see it. I'm like,
I think that's wonderful. Because, like, yours isn't bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, you're not trying to make people believe that there's ghosts and all this. You're just putting information out there, just like your experiences. And that's what I think is the most important thing. So, kudos to you.
Thank you.
So, now, as you move forward with Have Haunted, what is your goal? Because I think it doesn't matter how many followers you have, right? Or how many people listen to it. You could go a long time with no one doing it, and then all of a sudden you get a following, or you don't. Does that matter to you?
No, it doesn't matter to me. I just like to go to unknown places, unknown cemeteries. I just like history behind the places, not just because they're paranormal. They happen to be haunted. I like it.
The most fascinating thing that you did was the recipes.
Yeah.
That people actually put the recipes on their headstones. Now, to me, that fascinates me. Is that you made something so good that your family put that recipe on the headstone. So that whoever, if you just happen to be passing by, pay your respects or whatever, and you got a recipe right there.
What I think is cool too is I think more people should put like now because of technology, they should put a barcode on their headstone to give you a picture of what they look like or what they might have, a little bit of their, story, like our favorite story, like a little video of themselves or something to see because I always go in the graveyards and wonder, what this person look like or what do they do in life or what was their story, because I don't know. It'd be cool to have like a little snippet of like who they were, whatnot, what their story was.
But remember that movie Julie and Julia?
Yeah.
Where Amy Adams cooks goes through Julia Child's cookbook, and there's 365 recipes, so she makes a recipe, a new one every day. That'd be cool if there was 365 headstones with that, or even if there was 100 or 50, just to make those recipes to see were they really that good. Mm-hmm. Or like, especially if it was a recipe from a while ago, how that recipe would be different today if you made it. Because I look at my great-grandparents' recipes and stuff, they're very different than ours because they were basic. Flour, sugar, lard, milk. Not a lot, like they didn't really have the almond milks and all this other stuff, all the other.
I think the closest grave that has a recipe to us is in Iowa.
I think if there's recipes on the graves, it would be good to try to make that recipe and then let your viewers know if, yep, it was a good recipe, and if not, maybe you could even let them know what the recipe was for the bakers out there, because that adds another element to it. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea to make it and then see how good it is. I mean, obviously it's good if you're going to spend the money on put it on a headstone to have everybody look at it.
Well, because it costs so much to engrave a headstone that for them to put a recipe there, I would think it had to be pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So how many, since you moved to Illinois, how many cemeteries have you visited?
Probably 6 or 7. Like, I've drove by a few. I don't know if those count. But Woodland Cemetery is my favorite. And then I went to Springfield to visit Lincoln's tomb. That was beautiful. I need to go back there. There's a lot to do there. And then a few going down to Jefferson City. There's some on the side of the road. That was pretty neat. But yeah, I want to go. There's some other, I really want to do more investigating and walk around. The one in Woodland Cemetery holds 60,000 people. It's huge. I'm trying to find William Metz's grave, which is in block 1090. It's 1092. He's the builder of the Villa Catherine, which is known to be haunted. It's a beautiful building.
Yeah, I've been in that. It is beautiful, and the whole property is pretty. I'll bet back in the day, because that man said those walls were 18 inches thick.
Yeah.
So very well insulated. It'd keep it cooler in the summer and warm in the winter. It would hold heat or cool well. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't think I never went in the basement there, and I certainly wouldn't want to because the stairs are so narrow and
it was
straight.
Yeah, straight down, but it had a weird vibe in the basement. My niece, or not my nieces, my cousins went with me there, 5 and 7. They refused to go down there. I refused to go down there. It's a weird vibe, but the rest of the building was beautiful. They liked it. And I'm going on a ghost paranormal investigation here soon, so we'll see.
Then you can do a podcast about that.
Yeah, that's coming out pretty soon too, so
yeah, well, that's great.
Yep. Do you believe in anything paranormal? Have you ever had any experiences?
Well, I've had some things, like I don't believe in ghosts per se, but I do think there's angels all around us. I really do. Because too many things have happened. The day your brother got married to Patrina, when her brother attacked her, you know that I would have beat the crap out of that dude. But it's like somebody put their arms around me and told me, don't move. And I didn't. And when he left, I just went out and told Fabian and your brother, I called a car to come and get us, and I said, pack your bags because we're out of here and we're not coming back. And I've told that story several times to people, and that is a force. There have been many other times that I kind of think it might be my grandma Charlene, who died when I was 10. I kind of think she could very well be my guardian angel, so to speak, because I think I should have been dead a few times over, and I'm not. So I think that there is something there. And I also feel like I've always been extremely lucky. And I also think that could have to do with karma. You know, I've always been a giver and just people, you know, I care about people and I care about our planet, stuff like that. But no, I do. There has been many things that have happened that, yes, I think I choose to call them angels.
Cool side note, I am named after my great-grandmother Charlene, which is the wonderful lady my mom's talking about, my great-grandmother. So my middle name's Charlene. So I do believe that there's angels. There's been couple instances where I think I was saved too. So
yeah, I just don't think that whatever force created all this, the universes and the planets, all, I just don't think that force would be evil. It could. I mean, it could. I'm open to that. It most certainly could. You know, people were given free will if you believe what you're taught in Sunday school, because we were forced to go to Sunday school till I refused at 12. And almost died for refusing, but that's a whole other story. But, you know, if you believe what they say, you know, you just don't know. But I do believe that there is something. You know,
there definitely is. There definitely is something that protects me for sure.
Yeah, no, and I believe that. I just simply believe that. And other people can say, well, so-and-so's a drug addict, or so-and-so's poor and they live here, and how come whatever angels don't help them? Well, maybe that has to do with karma. Maybe they don't think great things or do anything for others, or just they're not kind people. You don't know, right? But, right, bad things happen to good people all the time, you know? And that's just life. But I think I'm the luckiest person in the world. So, and I know many, many, many people, millions of people in this world think they're the luckiest people as well. So I don't know if that has to do with karma or what, but, you know, somebody's definitely looked out for me my whole life, as far back as I can remember.
Yeah. I do believe, too, the law of attraction and the karma. You know, what you put out in the world is what
comes back to you.
Exactly. So you always taught us kids to do good no matter what.
But it's why I don't understand people who just take and never give back, because they're never going to get.
Right.
If you are just a taker in this world, people, you are never. Good things are simply not going to happen to you like they would if you could just give back. I don't understand why more people don't do volunteer work. You can simply go down to a soup kitchen, stock their shelves. You don't even have to feed people in need. You can stock their shelves. You can go volunteer for hospice like your dad does. You can do there's all kinds of things that you could do. And people just don't want to help other people, and especially since COVID came. People are more greedy, and well, look at the billionaires in this world. They don't care about us at all. It's you know, not good.
Have you had any paranormal experiences that are not normal to you, or not what society considers normal, paranormal?
Well, I've had some stuff happen, but I mean, like, I really don't dream a lot. I'm a person who doesn't dream a lot, but whenever I do, it's significant. So I don't know if, like, it might have been a dream or, like, real. I mean, I just don't know. But I remember one time something happened, like, in the middle of the night, and I was just like, get the hell out of here. You know, leave me alone, don't come back. And that was the end of that. It never happened again, whatever. And I remembered that. I don't remember if that was a dream that I remembered or what, I don't know. But
I have dreams of people that have been close to me that have passed away that come visit all the time. So I don't know if it's just them actually visiting, which I want to believe it's them actually.
Is it a great dream?
Yeah, it's just.
Are you the age you are now?
Yeah.
Yeah, then maybe it is.
You know, like when Joe died,
Mm-hmm.
I had a dream that he was laughing, and so I kind of knew he was fine. You know.
Oh
what
yeah, I
Like
knew he was
have-
fine.
And great grandpa, same thing. You know, and my dad.
And you know, when we put Joe's ashes in the water, and all of a sudden, the little baby, tiny like guppies came up, I just started crying because I'm like, oh my God, Joe's off on to the next thing, you know, because you know how he always loved to draw churches, and then he died in front of one. It was amazing. So no, yeah, I miss him every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, a lot
But
of
yeah, I have dreams, not all the time, but like certain people come in, and I think that's how I know that they're alright. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, like we don't know. Whatever anyone believes, it's their absolute right to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Let them believe it. And I don't think anyone has the right to tell someone. You know, a lot of people who don't believe in God, who are atheists, will try to say whatever. And they are free to have their own opinions. They can believe what they want to believe. But I don't think people who believe in God should shove that down people's throats. And I don't think people who don't believe in God should shove that down people's throats. I think people ought to just let people be. I think there is so much that we cannot explain. I think we just need to enjoy our time here, because it is magnificent. Look at this day and age where you can get on your phone, press a button, and you can have food delivered to your house. You can have your packages delivered to your house. You couldn't do that, you know, even 10 years ago you couldn't do that. We didn't back in the 90s, in the early 90s. Now I remember back in the 70s, I had one of the very first car phones that ever came. I had a phone in my car, and that's way before cell phones or anything. And that was pretty cool, you know. But look at now. We have phones, so now, right? Back in the day, covered wagons and horses is how you got around. Then came the car, airplanes, trains, you name it. ATVs, snowmobiles, all this stuff that they only wish they had in Alaska and Siberia, you know what I mean? Which now they have. They didn't have that stuff before. So it's a magnificent world, and people, they really need to enjoy every second, you know, because it's amazing. I wish people would take care of the planet more, that's for sure. So maybe these ghosts or whatever, or angels, can start scaring the crap out of people. Maybe they'll get the crap together, but I don't think so. I think people are so mired down in self-pity that they don't care about anyone else, and it's very sad.
Yeah.
But if people can watch or listen to your podcasts, I think it would bring them joy, because it's something different. It's different from sitting down watching TV, some show or whatever. You know, you're telling them about your experiences, and I think that's a good thing. What was your best childhood memory?
I have a lot. Well, going on the trip coming here was fun to Quincy. The first time when we were teenagers. And then, of course, the trip to Grandma and Grandpa to South Dakota.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Christmases, everything was, I had a good childhood.
Yeah.
I mean, playing basketball, sports with Pops over here.
You remember the Easter? When you guys got 10 Easter baskets from so many people, and we made you go and give them to the homeless kids, and you guys came back, and you said, oh my God, it's like they've never got one before. And I said, because they probably haven't, and you guys were so happy that you'd given that away. That changes you. It's good when you know that you're doing stuff to help other people. That's a good thing. I wish more people did that. But you guys used to always, you and Corey, you'd gather up your toys, and your good toys, you know what I mean, and you'd give them to other people in need. And we would do that all the time right before your birthday and before Christmas. so that you let other people have the stuff you didn't want to play with, or because you knew you were going to get a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. No need to keep it all. I mean, have someone else that was less fortunate.
No, I remember when you guys got all those Easter baskets, and I was pissed. I was like, I get that we would obviously give you one, the Easter bunny. And like your grandparents, your grandma was really good about that. For Valentine's Day, all of them. She always did stuff for the holidays. But to have that many was just such overkill and so irresponsible of the people. They should have known that, But I know they were trying to be kind. But when there's so many other people that could have really used that, But, yeah.
You have any other questions?
What is your biggest regret?
Oh, I like to say I don't have any, but I have a few.
Every person on the planet has regrets, and if they say they don't, they're lying.
I mean, if I didn't experience the things that I experienced, I wouldn't be at this point right now where I'm at. So, but if I had to redo my life over, I would definitely redo it over with the knowledge I have now. So I wouldn't have moved to Arizona.
Phoenix? Yeah.
I just wanted to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to my mom for joining me on my podcast episode. Your presence and insights truly made the episode special, and I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to share that experience with you. Your wisdom, warmth, and support mean the world to me, and having you as a guest on my podcast was a true joy. Your perspective added so much value to the conversation. Thank you for always being there for me, for sharing your wisdom and love, and for being such an incredible role model. I am so fortunate to have you as my mom, and I'm endlessly grateful for everything you do. I look forward to more opportunities to collaborate with you in the future, both on the podcast and beyond. Thank you again for being a part of this journey with me. Happy Mother's Day. I love you, and I appreciate you.